Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kim and in today's video we are going to learn how to use the verbs Voida, Osata, Saada, Pystyä and Jaksaa in Finnish, which can all be translated as can in English. So this video is split into 7 parts. In chapter 1, we'll take a closer look at the verb voida. Here we'll figure out what it means and we'll also practice with some examples. Then chapter 2 is all about the verb osata, followed by chapter 3, where we are going to focus on the verb saada. Next in chapter 4, we'll take a closer look at the verb Pystyä, while chapter 5 will be all about the verb Jaksaa. Now, since this topic is one of the more challenging ones, I've also prepared an overview in chapter 6, where we can then directly compare all 5 verbs with each other. Then at the end of this video in chapter 7, we will as always practice what we've learned today by solving some exercises together. So let's start with our first chapter. Our first one is Voida. Voida means can, but specifically in the sense of something being possible to do. In other words, it expresses the ability to do something because nothing is stopping or hindering you from doing it. To put it simply, the verb voida is used when we're talking about what someone can do in general, essentially what is within their power or what is possible in a given situation. The verb voida also comes up in questions about possibility or when making requests. Before we carry on with our examples, just a quick note about the grammar. The verb voida is usually followed by a second verb in its infinitive form, or in other words, in its basic form. Now let's take a look at some examples. Our first one is voinko minä auttaa sinua means can I help you? Let's go step by step. Voinko is a combination of the first person singular present tense of the verb voida, which means can, plus the go suffix, which is our question marker. So voinko means can I, minä means I, auttaa, standing here in the infinitive form, means to help, and sinua is the partitive case of sinä, which means you. Let's repeat again. Voinko minä auttaa sinua? Can I help you? Next one. Minä voin odottaa vähän aikaa means I can wait for a little while. Let's go step by step. Minä means I. Voin is the first person singular present tense of the verb voida, which means can. So minä voin means I can. Odottaa means to wait, infinitive form, and vähän aikaa can be translated as a little while. So also here, why do we use voida? Because we want to show that something is possible for us. Like in this example, it's possible for me to wait a little while. So again, nothing is stopping or hindering me from waiting. Let's repeat again. Minä voin odottaa vähän aikaa. I can wait for a little while. One more. Kirjastossa voit opiskella, lainata kirjoja ja tehdä töitä omalla läppärillä. At the library you can study, borrow books and work on your own laptop. Let's go step by step. Kirjastossa is the inessive case of kirjasto, which means library. Voit means you can. It's the second person singular present tense of the verb voida, which means can. Opiskella means to study, infinitive form. Lainata means to borrow, also standing here in its infinitive form. Kirjoja means books, partitive plural. Ja means and. Tehdä töitä means doing work or to do work. And omalla läppärillä means on your own laptop. Its basic form is oma, which means own, and läppäri, which means laptop. So let's repeat again. Kirjastossa voit opiskella, lainata kirjoja ja tehdä töitä omalla läppärillä. At the library you can study, borrow books and work on your own laptop. We carry on with number 2. Our second verb is osata. Osata means can, but in the sense of knowing how to do something or having the skill to do something. It expresses the ability to carry out an action based on skills or knowledge learned through, for example, study, practice, or experience. So in easier words, we use osata when we know how to do something because we have the skills for it. Also here, just a quick note about the grammar. The verb osata is also usually followed by a second verb that is standing in its infinitive form. Now let's take a look at some examples. Our first one is Minä olin viime vuonna autokoulussa. Nyt osaan ajaa autoa means I was in driving school last year. Now I know how to drive a car. So let's go step by step. Olin means I was. It's the first person past tense of the verb olla, which means to be. Viime vuonna means last year. And autokoulussa means in driving school. It's the inessive case of autokoulu. Then nyt means now. Osaan is the first person singular present tense of the verb osata, which means can in the sense of knowing how to do. Ajaa means to drive, and autoa means car, standing here in the partitive case. Why partitive case? Because of our verb ajaa. So again, why do we use the verb osata here? Because it implies that I have learned a skill such as driving. So I was in driving school last year. That means I have the skills, I know how to drive a car. So let's repeat again. Minä olin viime vuonna autokoulussa. Nyt osaan ajaa autoa. I was in driving school last year. Now I know how to drive a car. One more. Here we have a dialogue. A is asking, osaatko sinä soittaa jotakin? And B is answering, joo, osaan soittaa kitaraa. In English, A is asking, can you play something? And B is answering, yes, I can play guitar. In the sense of, I know how to play guitar. Let's go step by step. Osaatko means, can you? In the sense of, do you know how to? It's a combination of the second person singular present tense of the verb osata plus go suffix, which is our question marker. Sinä means you. Soittaa here in this example means to play in the sense of playing an instrument, and jotakin means something. It's the partitive case of jokin. Why do we need the partitive case here? Because of our verb soittaa. Now let's take a look at what B is saying. Jo means yes. Osaan means I can, I know how to. Soittaa we already had, and gitaraa means guitar, also standing here in the partitive case, again because of our verb soittaa. So why do we use osata in this example? Because playing an instrument, like in our example, playing guitar, is something you can only do if you have the skills for it. So in easier words, in order to play guitar, you have to know how it works. You need to have the skills for it. So let's repeat again. Osaatko sinä soittaa jotakin? Joo, osaan soittaa kitaraa. Can you play something? Yes, I can play guitar, or I know how to play guitar. Now, if you don't play any instrument, then you can answer minä en osaa soittaa mitään. Means I can't play anything, or I don't know how to play anything. Let's go quickly step by step. Minä en osaa means I cannot, in the sense of I don't know how to. Soittaa means to play, infinitive form, and mitään means anything. It's the partitive singular of mikään, which we use when we're expressing a general lack of ability in a negative sentence. Let's repeat again. Minä en osaa soittaa mitään. I can't play anything, or I don't know how to play anything. Next one. Osaan tämän laulun ulkoa means I can sing this song by heart. So let's go step by step. Osaan ulkoa actually is the first person singular present tense of osata ulkoa, which means to know by heart. Quick English lesson here. To know by heart means that we learn something in such a way that we can say it from memory. And tämän laulun means this song. So again, osaan tämän laulun ulkoa means I can sing this song by heart. So why do we use osata here? Because it expresses that we have the ability or skill to sing the song by heart, meaning we don't need the lyrics in front of us. So let's repeat again. Osaan tämän laulun ulkoa. I can sing this song by heart. Alright, we carry on with chapter 3, which is Saada. Saada means to be allowed to do or to have permission to do something. In other words, it is used to express whether someone is granted permission to perform a certain action, often in the context of receiving approval from an external source. In easier words, we use Saada when we want to express that someone is being allowed to do something because they have the permission to do so. Again, the verb Saada is also followed by a second verb standing in its infinitive form. Also here, let's take a look at some examples. Our first one is ei saa koskea. Ei saa koskea means do not touch. So ei saa is a pretty common way to express prohibition. So whenever we see somewhere ei saa, then it indicates that something is not allowed or forbidden. And koskea means to touch. So ei saa koskea means do not touch, don't touch. Next one, saanko häiritä sinua hetken means can I disturb you for a moment, or am I allowed to disturb you for a moment? Let's go step by step. Saanko means can I? Here we use saada in order to ask for permission. Häiritä means to disturb, standing here in its infinitive form. Hetken means for a moment. So let's repeat again. Saanko häiritä sinua hetken? Can I disturb you for a moment, or am I allowed to disturb you for a moment? Next one. Saako saksalaisella ajokortilla ajaa Suomessa means is it allowed to drive in Finland with a German driving license? Again, let's go step by step. Saako means is it allowed? Saksalaisella ajokortilla means with a German driver's license. Its basic form is saksalainen ajokortti. Saksalainen means German and ajokortti means driver's license. Ajaa means to drive and Suomessa means in Finland. Why do we use saako here? Because we want to ask if driving with a German driver's license is permitted in Finland or not. So let's repeat again. Saako saksalaisella ajokortilla ajaa Suomessa means is it allowed to drive in Finland with a German driving license? We arrived at chapter 4, which is all about the verb pystyä. So pystyä means can, and it emphasizes capability. In other words, it is used to express whether someone is physically or mentally capable of performing a certain action. So in easier words, we use pystyä when we want to express that someone is being able to do something that requires physical or mental capacity. Also here, just a quick note about grammar. Pystyä is typically followed by the ilative form or by the third infinitive ilative. Quick reminder, third infinitive ilative, how does it look like? For example, opiskelemaan. Now let's take a look at some examples. Pystytkö avaamaan tämän pullon? Means, can you open this bottle? So, pystytkö means, are you able to? In this context, we're asking about physical ability to open the bottle. Avaamaan is the third infinitive ilative of avata, which means to open. By the way, if you haven't learned the third infinitive yet, I've made a full video about this topic. You can watch it after this video. We carry on. Tämän pullon means this bottle. So let's repeat again. Pystytkö avaamaan tämän pullon? Can you open this bottle? Next one. Luuletko, että pystyt tekemään tämän? Means, do you think you can do this? Or do you think that you're able to do this? So let's go step by step. Luuletko means do you think or do you believe? Että means that, it's a conjunction. Pystyt is the second person singular present tense of the verb pystyä. Here we use it, by the way, in order to ask about capability. Then we have tekemään, which is the third infinitive illative of tehdä, which means to do, and tämän means this. So let's repeat again. Luuletko, että pystyt tekemään tämän? Do you think you can do this? Or do you think that you're able to do this? One more, actually a very common one. En pysty nukkumaan means I can't sleep or I'm not able to sleep. So, en pysty means I can't, I'm not able. And nukkumaan is the third infinitive illative of nukkua, which means to sleep. So this is actually a sentence that we often use when we want to express that we are unable to sleep, perhaps because of stress, or when it's summer because it's bright, koska on valoisaa. So let's repeat again. En pysty nukkumaan. I can't sleep or I'm not able to sleep. Alright, next one. Number 5. Jaksaa. Jaksaa means can. Think of it as meaning to have the energy or to be able to in terms of endurance. In other words, it expresses whether someone has the strength, energy or stamina to complete a task, often in situations that require sustained effort or endurance. So jaksaa focuses on whether someone can keep going with something or not. Also here, just a quick note. Jaksaa is typically also followed by a second verb that is standing in its infinitive form. Now, also here, let's take a look at some examples. Jaksaatko lähteä tänään kouluun? Means, can you go to school today, in the sense of, do you have the energy to go to school today? So this is actually a question we can ask someone who is feeling ill or not feeling well, maybe tired or exhausted. So let's go step by step. Jaksaatko means, do you have the energy to, or can you, in the sense of endurance? Lähteä means to leave or to go, standing here in its infinitive form. And kouluun is the illative case of koulu, which means school. So again, why do we use jaksaa here? Because we are referring here to someone's strength or energy. So let's repeat again. Jaksaatko lähteä tänään kouluun? Do you have the energy to go to school today, or can you go to school today? Next one. Minä en jaksa enää tanssia means I can't dance anymore, or I don't have the energy to dance anymore. Let's go step by step. En jaksa means I can't, like I don't have the energy. So with this one, we are expressing lack of energy to do something. Enää means anymore, it's an adverb. And tanssia means to dance, it's a verb. So let's repeat again. Minä en jaksa enää tanssia. I can't dance anymore, or I don't have the energy to dance anymore. One more, actually a very common phrase. Minä en jaksa lähteä nyt mihinkään means I don't have the energy to go anywhere now. So let's go step by step. En jaksa again means I can't, like I don't have the energy. We are expressing with en jaksa some lack of energy to do something. Lähteä means to go or to leave, standing here in its infinitive form. Nyt means now, and mihinkään can be translated as to anywhere. So yeah, if you've been working all day and now you're exhausted, you could say minä en jaksa lähteä nyt mihinkään. This tells that you're not up for any additional activities at the moment. Now we arrive at chapter 6, where I have written an overview which will help you to directly compare all 5 verbs with each other. So let's take a closer look. Voida means can, in the sense of something being possible to do. For example, I can help you. Osata means also can, but in the sense of knowing how to do something or having the skill to do it. For example, I can play guitar. Then we had Saada, which also means can, but in the sense of to be allowed to or to have the permission to do something. For example, I can drive a car. I'm allowed to drive a car because I have a driver's license. Then we had Pystyä, which also means can in the sense of being able to. This one focuses on capability, so whether someone is physically or mentally capable of doing something, like we had in our previous example. Can you open the bottle? And then we also had Jaksaa. Again, also this one usually gets translated in English as can, in the sense of having the energy or endurance to do something, like we had in our last example, which was about dancing. Minä en jaksa enää tanssia. I can't dance anymore. Nice, now we arrived at our last chapter for today, the exercises. Today we have 5 exercises. For each task we have 5 seconds. Let's start with number 1. Fill in the gap by choosing the right verb and putting it in the right form. So here's our first one. We want to say, I was in driving school last year. Now I know how to drive a car. Minä olin viime vuonna autokoulussa. Nyt ajaa autoa. What do we need to fill in? Osata, jaksaa, or saada. Don't forget to also put the verb into its correct form. That's right. The answer is osaan. Olin viime vuonna autokoulussa. Nyt osaan ajaa autoa. I was in driving school last year. Now I know how to drive a car. Again, osata means can, but in the sense of knowing how to do something. Next one, number 2. We want to say, at the library you can study, borrow books, and work on your own laptop. Kirjastossa opiskella, lainata kirjoja ja tehdä töitä omalla läppärillä. What do we have to fill in? Voida, pystyä, or osata. Also here again, don't forget to put the verb into its correct form. Very nice. The answer is voit. Kirjastossa voit opiskella, lainata kirjoja ja tehdä töitä omalla läppärillä. At the library you can study, borrow books and work on your own laptop. Next one, number 3. We wanna ask, can one drive in Finland with a German driver's license? Saksalaisella ajokortilla ajaa Suomessa. What do we have to fill in? Pystyä, jaksaa, or saada. Again, don't forget to put the verb into its correct form. Plus, here's also a hint. This is a question. That's right. The answer is saako. Saako saksalaisella ajokortilla ajaa Suomessa? Can one drive in Finland with a German driver's license? Now, the maybe challenging part here in this exercise was that we also need a question marker. Because it's a question, that's why we say saako. Again, why do we need saada here? Because this example is about having a permission to do something. Next one, number 4. We want to say, I can't sleep, I'm not able to sleep. Fill in the gap. Nukkumaan. What do we have to fill in? Pystyä, jaksaa, or osata. Hint, here we have a negative sentence. That's right, it's en pysty nukkumaan. I can't sleep or I'm not able to sleep. And our last one, we want to say, I don't have the energy to dance anymore or I can't dance anymore. What do we have to fill in? Minä enää tanssia. Do we need here pystyä, jaksaa, or saada? Hint, again here we have a negative sentence. That's right, the answer is minä en jaksa enää tanssia. I can't dance anymore or I don't have the energy to dance anymore. So again, why do we use jaksa here? Because this example is about someone's energy or endurance. Alright, that's it for today. I hope you liked this video. If you want to learn more Finnish, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching, have a nice day and see you next time.